All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have BKO, who's also joining us via Zoom, and Paul Dada also joining us via Zoom. So straight to our next conversation. Concerns over security and human rights in Nigeria continue to draw international attention. Members of the U.S. delegation led by Congressman Riley Moore sent to Nigeria to investigate reports of genocide in the country have now completed their fact-finding mission and are set to brief President Donald Trump on their findings. After several days in Benue State, meeting internally displaced persons, IDPs, survivors, Christian leaders, traditional rulers, and meetings with the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, the delegation questioned claims that the violence was driven by land disputes or climate issues, highlighting attacks on churches and IDP camps. Okay, BKO, I mean, some of the team, the delegates, they gave gory accounts. Some of the things they saw, really gory. But first of all, let's start this way. First of all, what's your thoughts on this story? BK, are you still with me?
The delegation, the 5-man delegation led by Congressman Riley Moore, and while in Nigeria, they had meetings with the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi. They also met with the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. The argument of the Nigerian government has always been that, yes, we admit that there are killings, but there are killings on both sides, and that these killings are not targeted at eliminating Christians from our country. They visited IDP camps. They went to Benue State amid tight security. They visited IDP camps where people narrated their stories about how they got to the IDP camp, how in some cases their children were murdered before their eyes, how in IDP camp they gave birth to some of their kids. These are grim stories, no doubt about it. As somebody who has done investigative stories in Benue, especially in Yelwata recently, those are the kind of stories that you will hear. But the Americans kind of believe that these killings are just targeted at eliminating Christians. They do not believe that we witness a lot of tit-for-tat killings. We witness a lot of killings that are the result of ethnic violence, convulsions between our people in some parts of the middle belt of our country, the North Central. I have read stories about Riley Moore. Riley Moore, when he got to Riley Moore had an interview with a TV station in the US, and it was the same story that they've been telling the world, that he regurgitated even in America, that these things are countrywide and that there's a desire to eliminate Christians in our country. I don't know the extent to which our government has gone by way of convincing these individuals that this is not quite the story, but there is a need for our government to continue the diplomatic push through back-end channels and even direct conversation with the people concerned. There are killings in our country, in the Northwest, in the Northeast, in the North Central. the killings are not limited to a particular religion. Yes, we want these killings to stop. We want our armed forces to do their best to bring peace to all the troubled parts of our country. But I do not subscribe to the notion that the Americans are aggressively pushing that these killings are targeted at Christians.
Okay.
Riley Moore also said that if this was climate change related, at least the issue of farmer header crisis, that why are they attacking IDP camps? Yes, I know the IDP camps have been attacked in Benue, but where the issue is ethnic tit-for-tat killings, an attack on an IDP camp that the earlier victims were being kept does not necessarily mean that it was targeted at Christians. There's a distinction between ethnic-based violent combustions and violent combustions related to religion. How, for example, do we describe what's going on in Zamfara? There are times when the bandits, once vigilantes kill a good number of them, they will launch an attack on an entire community, set ablaze their houses, kill people. I remember the day Goodluck Jonathan went to campaign in Katsina State. More than 120 people were killed in one community. And those ones certainly cannot be Christians. Because in that community, it is the population is 99% Muslim. So if the Americans want to help us, they know what to do. They need to support our armed forces. They need to support us with technology, with intelligence gathering assets. They don't have to sit on their belief that the killing of people in our country is targeted at one religion. I am a Christian, but it will be revolting against civilized thinking for me, after having been to many of the dangerous places where Nigerians lose their lives, the Northeast, the North Central, the Southeast. There is no part of Nigeria where violence is recurrent that I have not visited. But I will be revolting against my faith as a Christian to promote the notion that Christians are the victims of killings in our country. The killings cut across ethnicity, it cuts across religion, and it cuts across geopolitical zones. This is the reality. We have to accept that.
Okay. Okay. All right. I mean, Paul Dada, let me come to you here because it's like they already have an opinion. But how do you think the delegation distinguished between criminal, communal, or terror-related violence, you know, in their final assessment?
Benga, I do not think they were interested in making any distinction. I think they just had a preconceived notion, and they went to people that will validate the conviction they already had. This is, I'm by no means downplaying the horror or the misery that those people passed through. You know, I kept wondering to myself, why did this delegation restrict themselves to Benue State? Why didn't they go ahead to visit Katsina, Zamfara, other places? And they would have heard
the
other side of the narrative. Like BKO said, I'm a Christian. I'm not just whatever we can do to fix this problem. Whatever we can do to fix this problem, let us fix it.
Okay.
Deal with terrorists everywhere, anywhere. Deal with those who trouble them in Benue. Deal with those who trouble them in Plateau. Deal with those who trouble them in Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi, and everywhere. What we want is
House be able to balance, diplomatic relations with Nigeria while responding to these allegations of mass atrocities. Okay, I've just been told that we need to go on this quick break.
Yeah, why not?
The EFCC.
Yeah, why not?
The EFCC chairman said something. He said, work on knowing your chairman said something. He said, work on knowing your customer, which is a KYC, KYC, and don't give room for
crypto with the money. That is the end. With the money, that is the end. And when Senator Oshomole talked about how he was defrauded, how they moved money from his account and straight to those fintechs, leaving no trace. Because a lot of those fintechs don't even have offices where people can go to lodge complaints. So this whole matter came up less than 2 weeks ago in the Senate. And the decision now is that the fintech should be brought under the supervision and regulatory control of the Central Bank of Nigeria. There is no need for fintechs to have their own separate regulatory outfit. They should be under the control of the CBN so that the fraud that people use them to permit can be minimized. That's the whole idea. And I'm happy that it was full of praise for them because of their high employment of Nigerians. But they need to do more to help us defeat money laundering, especially.
Okay, BKO. So, Paul Dada, I need you to just round off this. BKO said it's better for them to be under one umbrella of the central bank, for regular audits and follow-up to monitor compliance. What are your thoughts here? Just in 1 minute.
Absolutely, I agree with him. We all know that the fintechs, we know that what they are doing, we know the role they are playing, their network is faster and all of that. So all they need to do is just to double up their efforts. Some of them are actually trying, they are very serious with their KYC, especially for high-level accounts, high-limit accounts. But they just need to actually double their effort. And there are some that, some that are probably not doing as much, as well as the, So they need to actually work on themselves so that people will not be using this for fraudulent transactions and money laundering. Thank
you so much, Paul Dada. Thank you so much, BKO. The traffic didn't do justice. The traffic didn't do justice to you today. I'm so sorry you had to do the show, in this kind of circumstance. BKO, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also,
the show comes first.
Exactly, the show comes first. Exactly, the show must go on. Paul Dada, thank you so much for also doing this with us.
Yeah. Thank God for technology.
Exactly. Thank God for technology. And we are first with Technology TVC. And that's it on Journalist Hangout this week. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.